Well, it's about time I did a video on UniSwap V3. Everything I've talked about so far has been fairly specific to V2, but I would argue is prerequisite and important to understanding what's going on in V3. V3 generalizes V2 in the sense that you can get a pool in V3 that behaves exactly as one would in V2, but you can do a lot more with it, as we'll see. The Uniswap website has some good information. And of course, you can just go onto the interface and start messing around with it. And you'll notice that when you go to add liquidity, you can set a price range. This interface kind of sucks, and there's not a lot of tooling that's been built out around it yet. So you just have to work with it. But once you understand conceptually what's going on, you can probably figure out how to make this work. But back in V2 land for a moment, I ran across this great paper by Alexis Dyrer. Has some good graphs and things that are going a little deeper into V2 than I have in my videos. I would definitely recommend perusing through this paper, and I'll put a link in the description so that you can check it out. But I just wanted to direct your attention to this graph on page 14. This is illustrating what's going on when additional liquidity is added to a pool. The price curve moves from this inner one to the outer one. Intuitively, with a thicker band of liquidity to chew through, the effect is that buys and sells are not going to move the price as much on this outer curve as they are on this inner curve. Another good resource is this article by Mellow Protocol. They've done some really nice graphs that I would not like to program myself. Let's start with this one. This green line represents liquidity added on Uniswap V3 in some balanced price range around the current price. The red line is Uniswap V3's inferred price curve. When the price is outside of the range, the line is dotted, which indicates that there's no liquidity available. Within this range, people are able to buy or sell into the liquidity, and this position is going to slowly change back and forth between the two assets. Now, this chart is super cool, and I think if you understand this, then you basically get what's going on in V3. This is the V3 version of the chart that we saw in the other paper, where two liquidity positions create a thicker band of liquidity. We have two providers down here, and the blue one has a wider range that they're providing over. So the blue line is the inferred price curve from the blue provider only. As the price moves up and down in the range where only that person is providing, that's the price curve that's used, and you're going to see faster price action. When the price is within the range that both are providing at, we jump out to this green curve, which represents the inferred price curve of L1 plus L2, or both liquidity providers together. Notice that we never move along the red curve because the red provider's range is fully encompassed by the blue provider. A V2 pool is essentially a special case where you're adding liquidity on the range from 0 to infinity. By selecting a narrower range, you can use your capital more efficiently. In this example, if the price never went outside of the range chosen by the red provider, then they would end up earning more fees than the blue provider because they've concentrated their capital more efficiently. Another possibility is using your liquidity as if it was a limit order. As the price moves up, this position is converted fully from X to Y and then back fully to X. So by pulling liquidity at the top, they essentially performed a limit sell where they earned some fees in the process. Of course, while the price is above their range, they're not going to earn any more fees because their liquidity isn't being used. And if the price comes back down through it, then the limit order gets reversed. There are a lot more details down here about how Uniswap V3 is implemented. There's really a lot of detail to it, and I think this smart contract is definitely one of the crowning achievements of DeFi so far. It's pretty amazing that someone was able to figure all this out and then also implement it into working Solidity. Anyways, that's all I have to say on this. Good luck out there with your liquidity providing.